Yeah, so hello everyone. We have a Vignesh in front of us and he is preparing for the IOCL interview. So Vignesh, please introduce yourself first.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dandekar Vignesh, and I am from Hyderabad, Telangana. My father works at RH Graphics as an operator, a printing press, and my mother is a housewife, and my sister, she is preparing for NEET exam. Coming to my uh, current what I am doing, so I am currently pursuing MTech first year in chemical engineering at IIT Bombay. I have graduated from VNIT Nagpur in the year 2023. I have completed my intermediate and 10th from Hyderabad itself. Coming to the job experience, I have worked as a GET for a period of 2.5 months at Off Business Private Limited, where I got the opportunity to know about ethylester manufacturing process. And also, I have done one winter internship at ONGC Ahmedabad, where I got to know about hydraulic fracturing and basics of scale formation. Coming to the extracurricular activities, I was also actively involved in that. I have got the opportunity to be event manager and alumni secretary, and my hobbies include watching cricket, playing cricket, and I also like do a little bit of cooking.
So आपने एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में बताया कि यू लाइक मतलब एक इवेंट मैनेजमेंट में आप इवेंट मैनेजर थे। तो आपकी क्या आउटकम्स थे उस इवेंट्स को लेकर और क्या इवेंट था वो?
I got the opportunity to be the event manager of Space Innovation Challenge. Basically, this is a space event at our technical fest at VNIT Nagpur. So I was the I mean, we as event managers, we need to design the timeline of the event and also make sure active participation from the students by marketing about the event uh, across the students, and also we need to ensure smooth and transition of the event to be successful.
तो आपने ओएनजीसी में भी इंटर्नशिप की थी। आप बता सकते हैं किस प्लांट में की थी?
Actually, sir, it was an offline, I mean, hybrid internship where it was completely online during the COVID time.
Okay.
So, well stimulation services, ONGC Ahmedabad. The topic was about basics of scale deposition, identification, and remedies. And also, I got to know about hydraulic fracturing techniques, which is one of the well stimulation technique.
So in the refinery, what we will do? Do you have any idea?
So, like exactly, I mean, I didn't got the question. Could
In
you
the
please?
refinery, what we will do? Do you have any idea?
In the refinery, we would be processing the crude oil, and we would be using various chemical, physical, and reaction processes to convert them into useful products, which may be LPG or petrol, diesel, etc. So we would be getting a number of products. So we'd be refining the crude oil in refineries.
So suppose crude oil. How many types of crude oil do you know?
How many types? Sorry, sir, I don't know. I mean, much
Yeah,
about that.
based on density, based on sulfur content. How many types of these? Light
Sorry,
crude
sir.
oil, heavy crude oil.
Sorry, sir. I have no idea about that.
Okay. So you are doing MTech in which field? Which
Chemical engineering.
chemical engineering? So suppose as a chemical engineering, what are your expectations from IOCL as a chemical engineer? Chemical
Okay.
engineer.
IOCL, since being one of the big oil and gas PSU sectors in India and also across Asia, so I would be getting a wide range of opportunity to face different challenges at IOCL and also get exposure in different fields, because IOCL has been having different business portfolio from refineries, pipelines, and also it is being actively being the main center of transition from uh, fossil fuels to cleaner energy. So I would be looking for a wide range of opportunities, and also it would help me in fostering my skills. So it would really helpful.
Yes. So as a chemical engineering, you also have to do shift job. Will you be
Yes.
comfortable of doing that?
Actually, I have also mentioned that I have done one, like I have also some experience where I have got to do the shift jobs as well, starting from first week. So I'm not, I mean, I mean to say that I'm okay with the shift jobs as well.
So after 10 years, how do you see yourself?
After 10 years, I think I would be in a place where I would be involving in a bigger projects, and also I would be mentoring few of my juniors. So taking on big projects and delivering it with all the knowledge I have gained over the 10 years down the line.
So suppose let's you have a pump. Do you know about the pump?
Yes, I know.
Okay. So suppose you have a pump and suddenly it will cavitate. Okay. So what you will do?
So basically, a pump cavitates when the pressure usually goes below the vapor pressure of the liquid. So I need to make sure. Uh, I need to make sure in the line of the pump, I need to make sure the pressure doesn't go below the liquid. So for that, I should be either I should be doing the balance. I mean, I should be checking whether where is the whatever the head I'm getting, where it is going down. I mean, where it is getting lost. So I need to check that, and
How will you check it?
doing energy balance across the pump, like so I can find out the npsh, whether it is below npsh available, is whether below the npsh required. So since the pump is cavitating, I can assume that npsh available is less than npsh required. So I need to make sure nps available should be great, maybe by decreasing the flow rate so that the pump doesn't cavitate, can
So
be one of the option.
you have a pump, okay, and the pump is having some discharge and a suction, okay.
Okay, sir.
And at the suction there is a valve that is known as the suction valve, and discharge there is a valve that is known as the discharge valve.
Okay, sir.
Suppose if you maximize the discharge valve,
Okay.
does it mean कि जो आपको प्रोडक्ट मिल रहा है वो मैक्सिमाइज हो जाएगा आपका प्रोडक्ट?
So could you please repeat the question? I mean, if I hello.
I think yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So suppose you have a pump, okay, and there is a suction valve, there is a discharge valve also. And from the discharge, we are getting some product. And let's say if we are opening discharge fully open, okay, discharge is a fully open valve. And if we are opening it fully, does it mean it will provide you the maximum product flow rate?
Uh, so in this case, I mean, we can't say exactly, because I mean there are also the chances like maybe when the flow rate is increased, there would be also increasing the frictional losses. So to compensate that, the head would also be decreased. So we can't say exactly. I mean, the flow rate would be increasing. So
So in the column, you have a two type of reflux. Okay, so first is a circulating reflux. Second one is the internal reflux. So what is the difference between these two reflux?
sorry, sir, I have no idea about that.
No. So circulating reflux, do you know?
No, I haven't heard. I mean, I heard only the term reflex, so not much into the
Okay.
types.
So reflux. So why do we use reflux?
So basically, reflex, when we are talking about distillation, right? So reflex we use so that whatever the fragments we wanted to separate out, we get it in a most purest form. So we use reflex so that to get the whatever the overhead, whatever the what we say more less volatile components which are there in the overhead product, it goes into reflex tanks, and then from there on we'll be getting we'll be reflexing that to the column, so that whatever the heavier components are there, they settle at the bottom only, so that they won't come to the top. So in that case, reflex would be useful for increasing the purity. So that's it, sir.
And typically reflux ratio कितना होता है? मतलब maximize reflux ratio, optimize reflux ratio. Sorry,
uh, it's something around 1.2 to 1.5 times RD minimum. I mean, minimum reflex ratio.
minimum reflux ratio. How do you calculate the minimum reflux ratio?
So minimum reflex ratio, we can calculate through graph. I mean, using the equilibrium curves and also plotting what we say rectifying line equation. So we'll be getting a point where the rectifying line and it would be intersecting at some equilibrium curve. All three rectifying line and feed line and all the stripping line will be intersecting at that point. So from the slope of that, I can find out the RD minimum, since I know the product, what we say overhead composition.
तो सपोज व्हाट वी कैन से लाइक कारनॉट इंजन, मतलब कारनॉट इंजन आपने सुना होगा। इसके
Yes.
एप्लीकेशंस क्या क्या है, कहाँ यूज करते हैं कारनॉट इंजन?
Basically, Carnot engine we use actually for ideal gas. So that's actually not possible in reality life. So there will be small. I mean, we are just using the Carnot engine to compare with our engine, whatever the engine we are using. So that engine can be heat engine or maybe if in also heat pumps as well. So we can use that. I mean, to compare it
तो
only.
आपने ये डिओड्रेंट वगैरह देखे होंगे, ठीक है? तो डिओड्रेंट वगैरह को जब आप स्प्रे डाउन करते हैं, एंड पे आप स्प्रे डाउन करेंगे तो वो कोल्ड हो जाता है आपका हाथ। तो वो क्यों कोल्ड आउट होता है?
Sorry, sir, I don't know much, but I can think in this way like whenever inside the deodorant the pressure is high, so whenever I'm spraying it, I can feel the cold sensation maybe because of uh, throttling process. So that there is change in pressure. So from throttling process and also the Joule Thomson coefficient is positive in that case, which means the temperature is reducing in this particular process. So, in that way, I can say I can feel cold when I sprayed deodorant.
तो एलपीजी एंड सीएनजी दो गैसेज होती हैं। ये कौन सी गैसेज आपको पहले मिलेगी? जब भी सपोज आप यू आर यूजिंग अ डिस्टिलेशन कॉलम एंड यू आर सेपरेटिंग आउट द प्रोडक्ट्स, so which gas will you get first from the top of the column or from the bottom? क्या order of the gases होगा उसका?
LPG and CNG. Sorry, sir, I don't know.
तो डिस्टिलेशन कॉलम से क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट्स आप विड्रॉ करते हैं रिफाइनरी में? क्रूड ऑयल जब आप प्रोसेस कर रहे हैं तो एक डिस्टिलेशन कॉलम से क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट्स विड्रॉ करते हैं?
Gasoline, LPG, uh, petrol, diesel, kerosene, aviation turbine fuel, and oils, lube oils, lubricating oils,
और
greases, and coke as well.
कोक हम कॉलम से लेते हैं।
I mean pure form of carbon, which you would be getting as a bottom product. I mean,
बॉटम प्रोडक्ट इज नोन एज द वैक्यूम रेसिड्यू। ओके, सो वैक्यूम रेसिड्यू सब अपन सीडीयू भी यूज करते हैं, एटमॉस्फेरिक डिस्टिलेशन यूनिट और वैक्यूम डिस्टिलेशन यूनिट। तो इन दो यूनिट की क्यों रिक्वायरमेंट है? हम सिंगल यूनिट से क्यों नहीं काम चला लेते हैं?
so basically, oil contains a lot of fractions of carbon, starting from C3 to C60. So basically, there are few carbon particles. I mean, what fragments whose boiling points are very high. So for handling those particular fragments we would be using vacuum distillation unit so that there won't be any thermal cracking of these particular fractions. So to avoid that we'd be having two columns, one is atmospheric distillation column and one is a vacuum distillation column.
चलिए अभी आईओसीएल की टोटल रिफाइनरी कैपेसिटी कितनी है? जितनी भी रिफाइनरीज हैं सारी रिफाइनरीज मिला के कितनी कैपेसिटी है आईओसीएल की?
So it is around 80 mmtpa.
और अभी कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स भी चल रहा है एक्सपेंशन का, तो क्या विजन है आईओसीएल का?
uh, Currently, IOCL is also more focused on green and cleaner fuels. Maybe it may be CBG, which is compressed biogas, or maybe XP Green. So currently, IOCL is trying to be the uh, one company where it is also dealing non-renewable as well as trying to be uh, renewable part as well. I mean, it wanted to be a transition so that because India is looking for sustainable development and also India wants to be self-reliant, so ISL is playing a major part in this by
तो
being
आईओसीएल
the
का 2047 में एक विजन है, डू यू नो अबाउट दिस?
2046, I guess. I mean,
हाँ, या 2046 क्या विजन है?
ISL wants to be to get operationally net zero emissions by
तो
2046.
व्हाट डज मीन बाय द नेट जीरो?
So net zero means like if I use any product, I mean how many in the entire cycle, how much emissions are being emitting. I mean how much carbon emissions are being emitted for the particular use of the product in its lifetime. So net zero means in the complete lifeline of the product, there will be no emissions, no carbon emissions.
ओके, सो विघ्नेश, नाउ आई विल गिव यू द फीडबैक। ठीक है,
Okay,
तो
sir.
लास्ट टाइम से आपका परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव हुआ है, ठीक है ना? एंड योर इंट्रोडक्शन वाज मतलब वेरी गुड, मतलब ज्यादा तो नहीं बोलूंगा बट वाज टू गुड। ओके,
Okay, sir.
बस अगर हो सके तो थोड़ा आप कंप्राइज करिए इंट्रोडक्शन
Okay, sir.
को, ठीक है ना?
Okay, sir.
थोड़ा और डाउन कर लीजिए इंट्रोडक्शन, बट इट
Okay,
वाज
sir.
गुड, ठीक है, कंपेयर टू द लास्ट जब भी हमने इंटरव्यू लिया था। नाउ
Okay, sir.
कमिंग टू योर नॉलेज, मतलब योर नॉलेज इज गुड, जहाँ तक मैं देख पा रहा हूँ, ठीक है, आपका जो भी आईयूसीएल के बारे में आपने पढ़ लिया है, जहाँ तक मुझे लग रहा है, और काफी अच्छा पढ़ा हुआ है। और एचआर क्वेश्चन भी आपने प्रिपेयर कर लिया, आई गेस, आफ्टर 10 ईयर्स, आफ्टर 5 ईयर्स। अब आपको क्या करना है, आईयूसीएल का विजन एंड मिशन, ठीक है, ये दो
Okay.
चीजें होती हैं, ये आप पढ़ लीजिए, ठीक है, ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। नेक्स्ट थिंग इज आईयूसीएल के कौन कौन से प्रोजेक्ट हैं
Ongoing projects. Okay, sir.
ना, ऑनगोइंग जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं वो आप पढ़ लीजिए, ठीक है, चाहे वो पाइपलाइन के हो चाहे रिफाइनरीज के हो, वो आप थोड़ा पढ़ लीजिए,
Okay,
ठीक
sir.
है? आपको ये पढ़ना, थोड़ा बेसिक आइडिया और रखिए पंप्स और इस सब के बारे में, पंप्स और एक्सचेंजर्स के बारे में, ठीक है।
Okay, sir.
बाकी आप जैसा पढ़ रहे हैं, जितना भी पढ़ा है, केवल उसको रिवाइज करिए, मैं तो यही बोलूंगा, ठीक है, इस
ठीक है.
इंटरव्यू के लिए, ठीक है ना? कोई भी आपको इश्यू होता है तो आप मुझे मैसेज कर दीजिए।